Yes, hello.
Hello, everyone. Dan McManus from Ephesus headquarters in Vancouver, Washington. Thank you so much for joining today's webinar. Today, we're going to cover things that can help you all year long in 2023. So first, a little background about our company, and then we'll jump into Lou Cloud Business Software. So here we are, our team of about 50 employees, and we'll continue to hire as we build out Lou. We are building cloud business software, so no more servers. Lou is just pull up a browser, pull up your mobile app, and start your day. The category that we fall into in terms of business software is called ERP. All that really means is that we're building a really big software program spanning retail, service, inventory, reports, accounting, mobile apps, everything, all of this on one piece of software. And this is sort of what it looks like. So we have many businesses logging in every day at lou.ephesus.com. And we're going to log into the app in just a few minutes and check it out. What we do here at Ephesus is we give you a process. So businesses are relatively easy to run when they're small, but how do we get businesses to streamline and grow? And where I get most excited is when some of our businesses that we've been able to help grow from $1 million to $10 million or $2 million to $20 million. And then we have a conversation about what are those things that allowed those businesses to grow so rapidly. And so that's what today's webinar really focuses on, are those needle movers that are going to help you grow your business over the upcoming years. Another benefit of the software and the platform that we give to the businesses that run on Lou is everyone's in sync at all times, whether you're the owner, the manager, the back office, the service techs in the field, everyone's in sync at all times. And it just helps with communication and it makes you look really good to your customers. So most of you know this, I understand that, but we've got some new folks on the line today as well. And as I'm going to move very quickly, if there's anything that you have questions about or want to go deeper into a topic, it's real simple. Just email us at lou@ephesus.com. So here's what we have cooked up for today. We're going to roll through how we believe we can help you, your business in 2023. Q1 is all about planning and making sure inventory is in order and getting ahead of things. So we're going to go into routing kits and a few other features. By Q2, you've got to be ready. Spring rush is on, the phones are ringing, and things are moving very, very quickly. So we'll go through some examples about how we help keep you organized. By the summer, it's really all about keep running, keep going, but make sure that you're not out of inventory. And so we have some really nice features to keep you on track there. And then finally, by Q4, about this time of the year, right? So let's pull some data. Let's look at those reports. Let's look at financials. And integrated accounting is now part of Lou, and so we'll go through some of the key features there. And as long as you're on the Lou Enterprise program, integrated accounting just comes with it. There's no additional charge. You just get integrated accounting. Ultimately, you can use QuickBooks Online, or you can use Lou's integrated accounting. The choice is ultimately yours. So that's the plan for today. And what we've done is set up sort of a preview access to a very special environment where I can show you some features that are just about to be released. And so what we've done here is I'm, again, just on a Chrome browser, and I log in with an ID and a password, and I start my day. And so these boxes on the screen, we call these tiles, and everything, of course, starts with customers. And what can I do? I can build an estimate, push it to a work order or sales order, create invoice, collect payments, and manage my inventory, send POs out to my vendors. Look, we're going to look at the service schedule and the calendar in just a few minutes. I can manage recurring orders, my marketing campaigns. If I'm a service manager, I can also look at tech by tech in my day. We'll touch on that. And then so much more, just hundreds of other features spanning operations to the warehouse. And so again, while we can't cover every feature today, we're going to highlight just the things that we believe can help you the most next year as you look to grow your business. So here we are, it's Q1. It's sort of the late winter months and it's ahead of the spring season. So what are we doing as we're doing our thinking and our planning? And the first thing that we're going to look at is physical count. So I'm going to go to my warehouse tile and look at this new feature that recently launched in Loo. So we all know that employees are our most valuable asset and are typically, from a financial standpoint, inventory comes after that. So a physical count allows me to look at what's actually in the store, what's actually in the warehouse, whatever the stock site may be. And if I want to create a new physical count, I of course have to pick my stock site. And then I'm going to pick, do I want to look at all SKUs? Do I want, what department are we talking about here? And then there's some other options here. But in this case, I'm going to open an existing physical count that I already had set up. So I'm just going to double click right here. And I can see that, here we go. Here's the profile. And I can see that, actually, this one's fully completed. Let me go back and choose a different one. So we have a little bit of a different example. Let me open the warehouse. There it is. We have quite a few items to count up, 158 items. And I can see that right now, if I go to the not counted subtile, and these run throughout Loo, right? These blue sort of tiles here, I can just, all within physical count. And I can go through and say, okay, there's these, this particular SKU, it says that there's 20 on hand, but is there really? And I have the ability to go in here and say, nope, there's actually only 18 on hand. And I want to go ahead and make that counted. Now, when I click that, it's going to put that right into the counted tile. But here I'm going to go back and I'm just going to continue with my physical count, right? So I'm here broadcasting to you on a laptop today. You, of course, could be on a tablet where you're walking around the store, walking around the warehouse, and you're just proceeding and you're correcting the quantities based on the actual that you've counted as you go. And you can either do this process that I just showed you, or I just double click and say, oh, there's actually 22, and let's mark that as counted. Let's save it and move on to the next. That's really it. It's that simple. It's a physical count where you can go item by item and make sure that you've got an accurate count of inventory on hand. And of course, since everything's tied together, it's going to automatically update your inventory availability and your flow through to your accounting and financials, so you can look at the actual value of your inventory. So that's one thing you can do pre-spring season. Here's a few other things that you can do. I'm going to go into setup. I'm going to show you what water testing looks like in Loo. Now, when you're doing your onboarding with Loo before you go live, that's typically a 6 to 8 week process that takes you through all the setup that you need to get up and running. However, you can continue to revisit this throughout the year, and we definitely recommend revisiting this before the spring season. So this is my water testing setup. So the guys and gals out in the field with the mobile app on a smartphone or a tablet, they're going to see these readings that they have to capture in the mobile app. Right now we've set up alkalinity, pH, chlorine, and CYA. If I wanted to add another one, such as water hardness, I simply hit create. Or I can say, wait a second, let me go and let's check this alkalinity, see what the settings in here say. Well, the settings for alkalinity say that there's a low value of an acceptable range is 80 to 120. What that means is, as the tech is in the field getting a read on alkalinity, if it goes up to 130, well, the value turns red. They can still capture the data, but it's going to let them know that they're outside that acceptable range, and they may need to make an adjustment to the water. So this is totally customizable. Again, you can just add additional things that you want to gather, and not only readings, but also dosages. So continuing with the alkalinity example, you can then say, okay, since the alkalinity need to be adjusted, well, what did you actually add to the water? And so that dosage will be captured in the mobile app and captured in the work order as they go. But this is where sort of the magic happens behind the scenes. You're setting all this up so that everyone in the field is going to, get these readings every single time they're at a pool or a hot tub or a body of water. And put in the dosages, and then you're documenting the dosages that are captured. All right, so there's one example of a setup. We also have interviews. I'm not going to go through that, but interviews are very popular in terms of just being able to pick up the phone and go through and diagnose issues. I am going to go through checklists just as another example of something to set up ahead of the spring season. So should be in here. And there we go. Sure. There we go, checklist templates. So I pull this up, and these are, again, think about it like the mobile app in the field, and these are the things that you want your team to go through when they're in the field. So for example, every time a pool cleaning happens, what information do you want to be captured? Did you remove the surface debris? Did you clean the pool tile? Did you empty the pool baskets? And so your team is out there checking yes or no. And by the way, they can also add a note into that as well. But this is where all those checklists are set up so you can make sure that these things happen. Meanwhile, a repair checklist would be different, right? We're checking the power, the breaker, the serial number, we're verifying that and checking the filter, those types of things. And in addition to yes, no questions, of course, you can make this as complex or as simple as you want. You can set up multiple choice. You can set up data entry so that you get the right kind of data coming back to the office from the field as your service techs move throughout their day. So all that setup will determine how successful you are in the very busy spring season. And these are all tools that are all included with Lou. You can see what I've done there is I wanted to start and move on to the next thing. So all I did was hit my very simple home button, and I move on to what's next. In this case, I want to show you routing. Routing is super important to set up and make sure that as you're working on your work orders and your estimates, that you want to make sure that these customers are in your service area, right? So I'm going to go in here, and it looks like it's under schedule divisions. I can either scroll down and find schedule divisions, or I could have searched for it. In this case, I just scrolled down, and I'm going to go into the schedule divisions area. Now, the first thing that pops up is I can see a list of the divisions in my company. Again, totally customizable to your business. You can set up multiple cleaning divisions, multiple delivery, repair, warranty work, whatever you want to do. In this case, we've set up these 3, and here's a list that I can see. And let's go in here and update the schedule divisions. Actually, I should have said before we get into routing, I'm actually going to look at the basic cleaning division. This is pretty cool. This is where you set the hours that your cleaning division is open. So maybe you're not open on Saturdays in the off season. You can also control who can dispatch or add things to the calendar, and who the personnel are that have the right skill set to go out for cleanings or repairs. And then there's digital work order. So if I look at the repair division, I know that yesterday I was setting up a header and a footer, which could include a phone number or a website address that's going to go out on the door hangers that you leave for your customers. Now, I know we all remember the old door hangers that you just sort of slip it over the door, and that's fine. You can continue to do that. These are digital door hangers. So as we finish a work order, these are sent via email or text to your customers. So it's super important that you have your branding and any information that you want here. So that's how you get in, and you can customize your different schedule divisions. Now that we have our division set up, now let's go ahead and look at routing. So I'm going to go ahead here and look at route mapping. There we go. I'm going to open that up and go into that area. So I'm thinking about routes. I'm thinking about the areas that we service. And again, in this case, we have customized our business to 5 different cleaning routes, 2 delivery routes, and 2 repair routes. That's cool. That's a list that we can see. But what about if I want to visually see these routes on a map? So no more loading in a sequence of zip codes. I can just click around and see, there they are. There's my Pacific or West Side, my Portland. These are all my different cleaning routes. And if I want to go ahead and let's dive into the Vancouver route, there it is. And you're of course setting these up ahead of time so that you can say, well, this crew services this area. But the nice thing is that you can also change it. So as things change, you say, you know what, we want to tighten this up. We don't want to go out so far in this area. We just want to tighten up that area. I go ahead and save it. And now you've got a new route. Now, let's say a customer calls you and says, well, wait a second, can you guys even come out to my home? Am I in your service area? I simply go in here and I type in the address. And as always, Lou starts guessing at your address as you start typing it. So it's a USPS valid address. And great news for this customer, they have a delivery. We can do deliveries, we can do cleanings, we can even do repairs out in your area. So yes, you're in our service area and we'd be happy to help you out. That's something, of course, you're going to want to check as soon as you get a customer calling in. And again, all I did was click into this map and I clicked test routes to get to that. A really handy tool that you can use. So routing is super important. Again, I can go in and just by double clicking, I can go ahead and update any of these routes at any time. It takes just seconds. And now I'm updating literally my service areas that are going to appear on upcoming work orders, which we'll see in just a minute. So routing, super important to do ahead of the spring rush. What else? Okay, I'm going to move on to an inventory related item. Again, one more thing that I wanted to show you today that you can plan ahead of the spring season. And I'm going to go into my inventory tile and I'm going to show you kits. So kits are super cool. I know that when I speak with business owners that have seen the 10x growth, gone from 2 to 20 million, we have businesses upwards of 50 million that are now using our software. This is the thing that comes up the most consistently in terms of how they experience that growth. So let's take a look behind the scenes of what this looks like, and then we're actually going to put this kit to work. So this is a spa kit, right? I just went into my inventory tile and I just started typing. And I'm going to go into my SKU profile, which means I want to know more about the Sovereign Spa Kit. What's in there? So there's lots of information at my disposal. I can actually see this spa kit is actually sitting out there on 5 estimates and some work orders and such. But really what I'm going after here for is the kit questions. These kit questions allow you to build a custom hot tub, a custom swim spa, whatever the case may be. And here's how you do it. You build questions. The question would be, first one is, well, Mr. and Ms. Customer, what model or color would you like? What type and color cover would you like? Would you like to add a lifter? Would you like to add steps? And some of these things, like the entertainment system, these are really built-in upsells, right? Things that, so that your personnel, your sales staff never forgets something major, and you've got these things built in that'll increase your average ticket. It's pretty sweet. We, of course, have the ability to reorder these questions. You can just drag and drop and bring them around and that type of thing. Or you can update the question, or you can update the answers and make things optional or required. There's all kinds of cool options that are available to you. And of course, ultimately, everything ties into a SKU. So setting up these kits ahead of the spring season is a true secret to growing your company. And Lou gives you the tool to do that. We actually had this feature available in our Evisys Legacy product, but it's so much better. It's so much more drag and drop, and it's so much more flexible in Lou. So let's go ahead and put it to work. Let's see what this actually looks like. So we're going to go ahead and create a new work order. Now, of course, you might be standing in front of a customer, or they might be calling us on the phone. Typically, we'd start with an estimate, and then once they're ready to make the purchase, we move it to a work order. But in this case, just to accelerate things, we're just going to jump right into the work order. This customer happens to know what they want, and we're going to go ahead and ring them up. So here we go. We can put notes in there. We have site profiles, by the way. If there's multiple residences or an office location and a home location, we have multiple site profiles. In this case, we're talking about a delivery. So we're going to choose the appropriate fields and make sure that things get logged appropriately. And finally, we're going to go ahead and build a work order. So let's create. So the minute I hit create, bang, we end up in a work order profile is what we call this, right? So here we are taking our order. So here's me, I'm Dan, and I'm the salesperson. So I'm here on the left. And then here's my customer information on the right. I can, of course, update that. I've got an email address update or a phone number update. I can handle that here. And Lou's going to say, you want that phone number and email just for this work order, or do you want to update that customer's account across all the business that we do with them? So really nice options there. Equipment tracking, scheduling, we'll get to that in just 1 minute, but I want to show you that dynamic kit, right? Because we're here to take a custom order. And so we're going to add that kit to our work order by simply hitting the plus sign. And here they are. Remember, a couple minutes ago, we were behind the scenes looking at those questions that we worked at in February ahead of the spring season. Well, now it's May and we're running. Things are busy and we've got to quickly take this custom order. So the customer says, I like the driftwood. Oh, by the way, I can see immediately that I've got 3 on hand where I've only got 2 on hand of the Tuscan driftwood. So I'm going to get my real-time inventory visibility on the spot. And now what I'm doing is, and I get that every step of the way, this question happens to be optional. What cover would you like? I'm going to go ahead and choose that option, and then so on and so forth. Again, just a simple series of questions to build a custom spot order is all we're doing here. And some of these things are required. This one is optional because it's steps, which may or may not apply. And here's a great example of an upsell. Would you like a chemical startup kit? Well, that sounds pretty good. And I might be describing that to the customer as I go. I'm going to go ahead and hit next. I'm going to go ahead and, yes, we need spa delivery, but we don't need a crane to come in and deliver it. So I'll just choose the spa delivery. I'm going to go ahead and hit next. Almost done. Let's grab the Bluetooth sound system. I don't need 2 systems, although I could. That's a multi-select. And here it is, right? So here's my questions. If I wanted to go back and correct anything, I simply click the link right here. But this is all looking pretty good. Looks like it adds up to just over $16,000. I'm going to go ahead and save this to the order. So I did all that customization and it's going to save it back to the work order. Here comes the really cool part, right? I could just go and print this because we find that folks still want to walk out with that 8.5 by 11 printout, and I could print it with all the information SKU by SKU that you'd need to make a purchase. Now, check this out. This actually opened up another window, another tab on my browser, which I'm going to go ahead and shut down. And here comes the cool part, because we know that a lot of times we've had this request for quite a while. We just came out with a new feature where you can now go ahead and let's update the kit. Nope, that's not where I wanted to go. I want to go to the kit. Here we go, update kit. And I want to say, however, when you print the estimate or the work order, in this case, it's a work order, I want you to hide the kit SKU prices. So let's see what that looks like. Now, keep in mind, I'm printing. I could also send this via text or email to the customer, depending on that customer's preference, how they want to receive information. But for the sake of this demonstration, I'm showing you a printout. It's something you could send to any type of printer. You can see it's the same printout, but no prices are listed. I just get a total price. So let's take that same concept one step further. I'm going to go ahead and one last time, I'm going to go ahead and update my kit. But in this case, instead of just hiding the prices, I'm going to hide all the SKUs, right? So if you're concerned about your customer going out and shopping online and losing that order, you can hide everything. By the way, while I'm here, let me show you one other cool feature at the same time. If you want to prorate the price down to a flat amount, hey, Mr. Customer, is 15 grand going to get this done? Well, we might need to add a few pennies, but $15,000.03, it's going to prorate and allow me to save that new price back to the order. So I updated my price. I then going to go ahead and print, because remember I said I chose the option that said hide the prices, hide the SKUs. I just want that customer to walk out with a simple piece of paper that says it's a Sovereign Spa kit. It's $15,000 and good to go. That's it. And if you have special terms and conditions, you could of course add that here, and that would appear on a second page or at the bottom of this sheet, whatever you want it to do. It's really flexible and really nice. Simple, powerful, and great for your customer experience. So that is a feature. It's coming out any day now. I believe it's due on the 14th of December. It's releasing. Brand new, hot off the press, and dealers are just going to love that. So I'm going to go now ahead and there's lots that I could do in this work order. I could, of course, go ahead and take a deposit and make a deposit right here and take payment and that type of thing. We have lots of videos on that. Card, cash, check, however, and I happen to have a card on file. I know that because the badge there says 1. However, in this case, I'm just going to kind of jump over the deposit and we're going to go ahead and schedule this for delivery. So to do that, I go to the schedule area and I just hit the create button. I'm going to go ahead and I've got 2 delivery divisions. These are my routes. Again, based on this customer's address here at 9905 Northwest 16th Avenue, Lou says, aha, you fall into multiple routes. Well, it looks like I've got a Washington delivery crew, or that Oregon crew is what I know it to be. So I'm going to choose the Washington crew. I'm going to go ahead and I think they're going to need more like 90 minutes. I could, of course, search my calendar and all that and say, get them an earlier appointment if necessary, which adds them to a queue. And I'm added to this. Looks like I'm overbooked. So Lou's letting me know that, Dan, you're pretty busy. And then, of course, I can go ahead and add a second personnel. So a primary and a helper is what we call that. Lou includes vehicle tracking. So I can go ahead and add a vehicle. I can add a spa dolly and other assets. But as I'm trying to move quickly here, I'm going to go ahead and everything's looking good. I'm going to go ahead and create that schedule task. And again, I'm still working on that work order, right? I'm still building. I just built that custom Sovereign Spa kit, and that task lives within the work order. There's one other thing that I'm going to do here because I'm trying to move quickly, and serial number tracking is absolutely included. This would typically be included at time of delivery. But to save us a little time, I'm just going to add that straight to the work order. How you do that is ultimately up to you. I'm not ready to invoice yet because we haven't delivered. And yeah, all that's looking really good. So my work order is in pretty good shape now. I went ahead and customized the order. I may have taken a deposit, and I went and put a task on the calendar for my service personnel. Now, what does that calendar actually look like? Again, I can go back on my menu. I can move on to the next thing. What I like to do is just hit home. Take me back home. I'm ready to move on to the next transaction within Lou. And that next transaction is, I want to take a peek at the schedule. This might be something that your owner or your service manager would look at. It's going to give them very quickly a bird's eye view of the day, cleaning, delivery, and repair. But really what I want to do is I want to look at the calendar. So I'm going to look at our brand new calendar. This is live in Lou, and you can see very quickly that I've got, here's my employees, Amy and Ashleah, here's Dan, here's Emily, and I'm looking at the day. I can also look at a weekly view. And what's nice about this is, if things are too busy, looks like Amy might be overbooked, I just start clicking, I hold my control key down, and I can drag multiple jobs. Or maybe Amy's out for the day, and I'm going to move that to tomorrow for Ashleah. And multiple things adjust on the fly. This calendar is fast, it's easy, it's drag and drop, and I've got all my tasks on it. So we have dealers that they have someone who just lives on the calendar all day long, just managing recurring jobs, one-time jobs, and that type of thing. So that is the Lou calendar. Now what I want to do is, what we're trying to do is we're going to go try and look at that spa delivery and see what that looks like. So I could have looked at it on the calendar. The other place that I can go is I go to my day. So this is me, I'm Dan, and this is my jobs that are lined up for today. Looks like I've got some hot tub cleanings, some pool cleanings. I've got all kinds of jobs that are lined up for me today. And there is my hot tub delivery, the one that we just created. Now I'm going to skip over, I'll go ahead and we do routing. We optimize the route because it looks like I've got a good 8 or 9 jobs here that are that need my attention. And in this case, I'm going to go ahead and look at the task, that sovereign spa that needs to get delivered, right? It's pending right now. If the customer would say, we are going to stop by today, right? Yes, we are. Might be on the phone. They might still be standing in front of me, but they've confirmed the appointment. And I can update this as needed, but really what I'm here going to show you is I'm going to accelerate everything and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to complete the job. So let's say we got out there right quick and we went ahead and delivered the spa. So that's it. It's as simple as clicking that button. If I'm on the mobile app, I'm just hitting completed, job's done, I'm clocking out, I'm moving on. I'm going to close this out. So I know I'm moving quickly here, but I'm trying to show you a very cool feature in our software called Review and Invoice. So again, what we did was we built a work order, we took a deposit, we scheduled the task for delivery. The service guys then went out, actually delivered it. Everyone's in sync at all times. And now we have this great feature that when I talk to business owners, what they love about Lou is they love Review and Invoice. It's basically a checklist at the end of the day. And because we just completed that task, I can go ahead and invoice it and make sure the proper communication went out to the customer. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to say, yes, let's invoice this. We want to process the payments to the proper desk. Now check this out. Here's that checklist. We want to go ahead and authorize the payment on file or not. But yes, we want to, now that we've delivered the spa, let's authorize the payment on file and then go ahead and invoice it. And the next screen that's going to pop up is the communication that goes out to the customer. Again, depending on that customer's profile, it could be an email or a text message that goes out to them, and they get a link to their statement. In fact, they even get a customer portal that you can append and add that. And they get a link that goes directly to their customer portal where they can see, they can print out a receipt, they can see upcoming service appointments. It's a beautiful thing. And that all comes with Lou. And when I hit send to customer, that communication goes out. So Review and Invoice, again, is one of those very powerful items that you can use in your business every day. Whew, that was a lot. But trying to show you really quickly all the features that can help you in 2023. One other feature that can help you is maybe you're rolling through those summer months and you want to make sure that you've got enough stock on hand. Well, I just clicked the inventory replenishment. Actually, let me show you one other quick thing. These tiles that are here, I actually added this tile to my menu yesterday. I simply go in and say, I can go to my tiles and I can change the way that tiles appear on the screen. How cool is that? Maybe I want to make customers in a different color. I go ahead and save that and I'm customizing that, or I want them to appear in a different order. Well, customers always come first in my book. So, but maybe I want, payments to appear ahead of invoices, that type of thing. So I can actually customize my screen to my likings. So it's pretty sweet. In this case, yesterday I said, if I'm a warehouse type person, I want that warehouse tile there and I want that inventory replenishment tile. So it's always just one click away, super flexible. And when I go in here, I can see suggested transfers. So Lou's actually done all this work in the background for you and said, hey, we're going to suggest, you're getting low on some of these items here. And we suggest that, oh, looks like I've got 22 in the main warehouse, get some over to the retail showroom. And I can go ahead and transfer those right here on this screen. So I go ahead and create a stock transfer right on the fly. Pretty cool. I can then go back and look at reorder alerts. So again, Lou's always working in the background for you and saying, these are the items that you should be concerned about and you need to get a PO out to your vendor. Now you can create reorder alerts based on seasonality whenever you like. So let's go ahead and just, again, I can search on any type of item. I can search on a part number, anything like that. But if I go ahead and let's create a reorder alert that says for this particular filter, and there's the filter number, anytime I go below 5, I want to go ahead and add 10 more in just about any month, but things get quiet around here in January and December. So 10 months out of the year, I always want to have 5 on hand. Let's go ahead and create that reorder alert. It wants me to select at least one stock site. So I'll go ahead and do that. I'm talking about my warehouse. Maybe I centralize all these purchases around my warehouse. Let's go ahead and create that reorder alert. And anytime I dip below 6 and go to 5 or lower, it's going to show me, Lou is going to show me a reorder alert. And then what can I do is I'm just looking at it. I can go ahead and add that to a purchase order, create a PO based on who I buy that part from. So reorder alerts are seasonally based and just another thing that Lou does to keep you going, make sure you do not run out of the necessary SKUs that you need all year long. Okay, I'm trying to take us home here on a few more cool things that you're going to use all year long. And in this case, I want to show you a few key reports. So Lou has over 300 reports. It's down here in the many options of Lou. I'm going to go to Lou Reports, and I'm going to go ahead and open my best-selling SKUs. That's something that I like to look at and know what's selling. So I'm going to click this report. By the way, this is a canned report, defaults to the last 90 days, and you can, of course, change the date range. But there's about 300 reports that come with Lou, and you can change them. You can go ahead and let's go and expand this. And I don't want that column there. I want that column over there. I can drag and drop. I can make it a favorite report. But very quickly, I'm able to see what are my best sellers. How cool is that? And I can either skim across the screen and get this report, or if I want to save it, I certainly right click and export it, and I can kick it out to an Excel file whenever I want to. And again, there are hundreds of these reports: sales tax reports, inventory reports, marketing reports for open opportunities or leads that need following up on, just vendor reports, just on and on and on and on. Reporting is a very powerful part of Lou. The other important part of Lou that you're going to want to see is your accounting. So again, in the past, you could always just sync with QuickBooks Online and get your financials over there. But today, you can pull your financials right out of Lou. I clicked on accounting. I click on financials. Let's take a look at my income statement as of today and go ahead and print it. And I can very quickly see, am I making money in my business? So here's my income, here's my gross profit, and net income, right? So I've got my revenue up top, of course, my cost of goods, all my other expenses, and then my bottom line. Just in seconds, I can pull that information. Same thing with the balance sheet. I can check my cash on hand, I can check my assets, and it could be end of month or just today's December 7th. So I just want a snapshot. How are we doing today? Again, look how quickly I'm moving through this. Trial balance, which we all know is a snapshot of all our general ledger codes, right? There they are. I can look at my account codes. I can sort them however I want to. And again, just as in many screens in Lou, I'm exporting and kicking things out to an Excel file whenever I want to. All this comes with, as long as you're on the enterprise plan in Lou, this comes with there's no additional charge for this module. We just, as we continue to build out new features every 3 weeks, you'll get them included with Lou. So much more I could show you, but that's really all I have time for now. I hope that's helped you understand before the spring season, during the spring season, and then after after the spring season, all that you can do and all that you have access to. And if you're ready to go, we sold out of January, and we're now selling. We have just 7 spots left, last I knew, for February of 2023, if you want to be live on Lou. And then a few before the 19 were left in March. So a very limited number of spots available before the spring season. We've got two plans on Lou. You're going to want the enterprise plan to see everything I showed you today. The pro plan is really for smaller companies who have just one stock site, all their inventory in one site. Most folks want to track by vehicle, by warehouse, by store. And then there are licenses that are included with Lou. So if you're the boss, you want it all. You want retail, you want service, but maybe you're a service tech and you just need access to the service module. If you have a retail store, we didn't go too much into retail today, but you might want that. And maybe you've also got a CPA or an accountant. Well, guess what? They don't need retail or service access. They just need access to your financials, and we don't charge for that. That's a free license. So you can see based on this, everything you saw today, it's going to be $4,999 is your one-time Lou onboarding fee. That's that 6 to 8 weeks where we're going to help get you up and running. After that, it's $257. By the way, we only charge you for what you use. So if you turn off that service license in the winter season, your price is actually going to go down to $178 per month. Seasonal licensing, we only charge you for what you use. Everything else you see on this page is included with Lou if you want it to be. Google Maps is included, car integrated payment processing, we're going to write you a great rate, email and text messaging, and the other integrations, Avalara or QuickBooks Online. Now you're going to need to buy a license from them, but we don't charge anything for those integrations with QBO or Avalara. Same thing with any of our many integration partners. And that's how you get going. And again, if you have any questions at all, simply email us at lou@evasys.com, and we'd be happy to provide a custom one-on-one demonstration and dive deeper into your business. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.